What's going on, team? It's Ricky with techbud Solutions, and this is going to be our Sunday Stock Talk. Again, due to my travel and being here in Tokyo, Japan, I just want to make sure that I am still able to host the Sunday Stock Talk. So this is going to be a pre-recorded, in a sense, video. What I went ahead and I asked the Learn Plan Profit and techbud Solutions members was just reminding you guys that due to Wi-Fi reasons, again, the Sunday Stock Talks can be hosted like this. So just be sure to post your call outs, either the watch list sections if you're part of techbud Solutions, or if you're part of Learn Plan Profit, to post it in the group alert sections, and then I'm going to be breaking it down for the team. So let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to go straight to the point. I'm going to be breaking down a series of different stocks that our members within Learn Plan Profit and techbud Solutions see value in, and then we're going to go from there. So again, all these breakdowns are going to be going right here on the left-hand column. So as I go through these series of different stocks, if you see value in any of them, but I go too quickly and break them down too quickly for you, then just know that you're going to be able to find them here on the left-hand side. So let's go ahead and get started. Again, none of these stocks are in any way any stock suggestions. I just want to make sure that you guys understand that this is simply for like being able to understand why it is that I see value in something. So natural gas just went last year above. Wow. Okay, so we had a really nice push up on natural gas. I'm getting all these different sorts of alerts right now. On the 1 day 1 minute charts, really nice pop up. It actually broke below 2.69, but it looks like it just broke above 2.72. So again, I'm looking at level 2, and it looks like it's at 2.74. So that's actually pretty exciting for ticker symbol UGAS. But the first one that we're going to be breaking down is for JAR. It's CBLT. So let's go ahead and get that started. CBLT. Here we go. Just confirm. CBLK. Wow, good job, Rick. CBLK. There we go. So I'm going to link this so it pops up right here. Boom. There we go. Okay, so on the 1 day 1 minute chart, again, not too sure if you're treating this as a day trade or a swing trade, but when looking at the 180-day analysis, I see a very strong and consistent downtrend. I do see why it is that you're calling it out. Looking at the MACD, looking at the RSI, it makes sense on why it's kind of like finding a support right around this like $12 price point, and why it can begin to push up. Again, it doesn't mean that it's not a good trade. It just means that based off previous patterns, it sometimes, even after finding a support, can continue to downtrend, and there's a huge form of risk by trading something like that. But if you see any indication of a potential reversal, again, I'm going to set my alert maybe for the break above $13, and then once we break above the overall EMA line, which is this blue line that you see right here, that could be maybe a little bit of a better indication of something that's beginning to show signs of an uptrend. But again, based off previous patterns, it normally gets rejected around the SMA line. So then the margin of profit, in my eyes, just doesn't seem to be worth it. So again, that's my breakdown. But be sure to follow up with whatever it is that you end up deciding to do. So we got Muhammad breaking down ticker symbol DGAS, my dude. So right here, ticker symbol DGAS. So based off of what we just saw for /NG, that's the natural gas future. We see that natural gas is pushing up right now. It really has to do with looking at its overall direction right now. So I'm going to take a little bit of a step back looking at this. It looks like natural gas has been getting rejected by this overall SMA line. Again, I have a huge focus on trading natural gas. Just because I trade it doesn't mean any of you guys have to trade it. But Muhammad is someone that's actually proactive and looking at these different series of patterns. One thing that I do find attractive about natural gas is that it found somewhat of a support right around 2.50, and it started to indicate and show signs of a potential uptrend, right? That might approach this overall green line, which would then be in favor of UGAS. I know that you're talking about ticker symbol DGAS, and yes, in the sense of like breaking this down and that it might find a support here right around the SMA line. Just like every other pattern out there, nothing is a support, or there's no found or 100% valid support until it validates it, right? And there's no confirmation of a bounce here. It's still trending below the overall EMA line. So again, what is going on right now with ticker symbol DGAS? It's getting rejected by this EMA line, right? It continues to make lower lows and lower highs. We need to see a break of pattern. So we need to see this thing do the exact opposite. No longer trade below the EMA line and actually begin to show signs of an uptrend, just like we've seen it before when it's trading above the blue line and above the green line and making higher highs instead of lower lows. So that would be what I would try to look for. And again, I would look at /NG during pre-market hours, see how it closed based off of Friday. and see how that how it begins to perform during aftermarket hours. Because again, it doesn't really matter. You can see that the volatility is pretty crazy right now. It was just at 2.67, and then now it's at 2.75. So it doesn't matter where it's at right now. It matters where natural gas is at when the market opens, and how that will influence degas and UGAS. So I'm really excited to see if we can get some volatility back in UGAS and degas. The next one is, okay, so we did CBLK, so you tagged him on this one, nice. We got ticker symbol TK, let's go ahead and break it down. So ticker symbol TK, here we go. Taking a little bit of a step back. Again, very strong downward pattern, normally gets rejected right around the SMA line. So yes, I do, first of all, it's a downward pattern, a form of risk investing in something like that, right? Another thing that we do want to talk about is the resistance that it's had. Wow, that scared me. So, so it looks like it just broke above 2.759. So it looks like natural gas is trying to push up. So it looks like it's getting rejected around the SMA line for ticker symbol TK. So yes, that is in, TK is showing signs of an uptrend, but also it's very close to the resistance based off previous patterns. So I'm not too sure if the margin of profit would in a sense be worth it. That's going to be solely up to you to decide. And again, we can get a little bit closer. We can look at the 20-day 1-hour chart and see if it makes a little bit more sense to us. It looks like it's still, a little bit more on the overbought side, not so much of a good deal. Yes, it can continue to uptrend, but because the pattern has been so consistently like downtrending, and looking at that it's not a good deal, it's overbought, and the MACD is showing signs of a potential downtrend on the 4-hour chart, I would hold back a little bit and wait for a little bit more of a confirmation to see if we do see a change of direction, or if it continues its downward pattern and then gets rejected by the SMA line and then begins to make lower lows. That's something that I would look out for. The next one we're going to be talking about is from Carolina. It's NBEV. So let's go ahead and break that one down. NBEV, here we go. Okay, so looks like we've been showing signs somewhat of an uptrend pattern. There it goes. Wow. This is /NQ. We're getting a couple of alerts right now as the futures are starting to open during up Sunday. But really nice consistent uptrend again. The resistance that it's had right around the 2.35 area. It looks like we recently broke below this little area right here, which is the overall SMA line. It looks like it's trying to find a support. No indication of a support just yet. So what we're going to do is I'm going to set my alert here to see if it begins to show signs of an uptrend. But it looks like the progression at the rate that it was going up is really starting to slow down, and the SMA line, which used to point up, is now starting to flatline. So we might begin to see a change of direction and a change of pattern, which happens all the time. So instead of something pushing up, it begins to downtrend, and the SMA line then follows. So it kind of looks like that's what's going on now, and we're most likely going to see lower lows that follow. So and I did see the next one that you broke down, or that you asked or requested, and that was ticker symbol UWT. So UWT, again, this is one that we've been following very closely in correlation to /CL. So again, I would closely watch /CL and see the direction that is going. There's a very strong downward direction and pattern for /CL and UWT, so it does have a lot of margin for recovery. As of right now, it's been doing a really good job consistently holding above this overall EMA line. So again, if the pattern follows and the margin of profit is worth it, I would still only approach it as a day trade. Because it's a little bit on the overbought side and it did have a very consistent pattern of a downtrend, I just wouldn't risk it for a swing trade, again, unless you personally have a reason behind that specific trade. If you have a reason behind it, then I'm not here to tell you what or what not to trade. It's, if you have a reason behind it, then just make sure that you formulate a plan both for success and also that manages your risk accordingly. So UGI, that's from Leah. What's going on, my dude? So UGI, here we go. All right, same thing here. So it was showing signs of an uptrend pattern. It peaked out at 59.31, and then now we're starting to show signs of it really beginning to consolidate in almost this horizontal pattern. The MACD looks overextended. The RSI doesn't look like such a good deal either, and it looks like the SMA line is starting to peak out, and it makes sense on why this thing can begin to downtrend. So that's kind of what I would look out for ticker symbol UGI. Here we go. Oh, I think it was TSX. Okay. Nope, nothing's popping up for that one on me. Sorry about that. GT, what's going on, Paul? Very consistent downward pattern. Again, yes, it did find a support. Yes, it is approaching and above the EMA line, so it is starting to uptrend. Again, it normally does get rejected by the overall SMA line. So if you think that the risk is worth it and the margin of profit is worth it, then 100% just set up a plan for your success. The only thing that I would kind of look out for is the descending MACD now and the overextended RSI that are probably not in your favor. But again, if it continues to rally and hold above this EMA line just like it's done before, then there's an uptrend there. But if it begins to downtrend and begins to break below its pattern in the EMA line, then maybe it would be something to stay away from. Carolina OSTK. Here we go. Let's check this out. Strong downward pattern recently broke above the overall SMA line, so I like that. Pulled back a little bit, finding a support based off previous highs. I like that. So I'm going to set an alert, see if we can continue to see forms of higher high based off previous patterns. The resistance might be a little bit above $22. So the margin of profit can potentially be worth it. It might be about 10%. So I like this one. This has to be my favorite one so far. That's a stock that we don't normally trade too often. So thank you again for that. I think that has to be the best one that you've called out so far. Let's see here, A, T, and I. There we go. Strong pullback, so this could be a dip by, pattern, right? If it builds a cup and handle pattern, no signs of an uptrend, that's essentially what I would look out for. It doesn't mean that it has to reverse back up. It does look oversold. The MACD does make sense on why it can reverse back up. Just because it can doesn't mean that it will. And again, if there's no indication or confirmation of an uptrend, then why would you choose to jump into it? So again, I would make sure that it begins to consolidate, find a support, and begins to make higher highs, and then identify when's a good time to buy, when's a good time to sell, and when's a good time to cut losses if it breaks its pattern. So good call out on that, Connor. Shady is calling out CRNT. Let's see. Here we go. Very consistent uptrend pattern. I like this one. So it is consolidating around the SMA line. Just because it's bounced here before doesn't mean that it has to again. So I'd set my alert for a little bit above the break above the EMA line. The MACD looks good. The RSI looks decent. It looks really good as well, being around like the 34 area. So this also has to be maybe one of my favorite callouts out of all the other ones that have been talked about today. So again, just a lot of selling off right now. So we're going to have to be very patient with the overall reversal. But I know that's something that we could work on. So I'm going to be waiting out for that. So Gary calling out ticker symbol GOOS. Here we go. I like it. So not enough data for me to actually break down. So Good Holding Incorporated, consistent uptrend, pulled back. Yeah, this just isn't in the, oh, wait, let me do, there we go. Okay, it looks like it was just my time frame, sorry about that. Really strong pullback, consolidating around the overall SMA line, broke above the EMA line, based off previous patterns and where it's at right now. Margin of profit is a little bit over 10%. The MACD, again, it's already progressing, so not too sure if it's going to have the momentum to continue to rally, or if we're going to see kind of like lower highs formulate here. So just be aware of that, and just make sure that you don't get in too late, that there's a continuous signs of an uptrend pattern. And if you have to day trade it, then so be it. Don't just swing trade it because you think that it offers this margin and because it's fulfilled it before. Because again, if the MACD peaks out and then it begins to downtrend, you literally bought at the very top. So again, just don't just think about the pros, but also think about the cons as well of whatever it is that you're about to trade. Ticker symbol DWT, that's the inverse of UWT, right? So we talked about UWT continuously showing signs of higher highs, so this is continuously showing signs of lower lows. It's getting rejected by the EMA line. Again, what is it that it's doing now that we needed to do the exact opposite of? And that's break above the EMA line and start to make higher highs, and for /CL and UWT to begin to sell off. Until then, I would personally stay away from DWT, as you're just feeding to the bleeding, right? AVP. What's going on, Tokyo Trader? Hey, I'm in Tokyo. So let's check this out. So, okay, really nice consistent uptrend pattern, a little bit on the overbought side, but again, it just looks like it continues to rally. I would look into, so again, its earnings came out and it looks like it was a positive catalyst that drove the price up. You can see that the volume is much more active right now, and that's possibly something that you need to be aware of what's driving the price up. And that volume and hype and demand isn't always necessarily going to be there, so it's going to correct itself and then most likely pull back. So again, if it continues to rally and push up, great. I would treat it as a day trade. Other than that, I would really wait for a break of pattern because it's only a matter of time for this thing to pull back. So thank you again to all the Learn Plan Profit members that wanted. I know I didn't give you guys much time, but that broke down and shared your top stock for the week. Now I'm going to go to the TechBud Solution members that wanted to share their top stocks and stuff like that. So that was right around 5 a.m. So GRPN. So GRPN, here we go. Start these breakdowns. Consistent downward pattern, broke above the overall SMA line, pushed up. Okay, so now we're trying to see if it bounces right around the SMA line. As of right now, what is it doing that we needed to do the exact opposite of? As it's downtrending, it's getting rejected by the overall EMA line, right? So we see it kind of trying to consolidate. Until then, if there's no confirmation, then I don't care for it. So that would be that would be something that I would look for it to do the exact opposite of what it's doing, and that means making higher highs and trending above the EMA line and the SMA line. Until then, it's kind of just the watch until instead of an actual trade. So again, I do want to remind you guys that you guys do have to post these series of different things in the ticker call out format for the following ones. Okay, so PYX. PYX, here we go. Okay, so a nice consistent uptrend. It looks like it's trying to trend and hold above the overall EMA line. So it looks like it almost peaked out here, but if it continues to show signs of an uptrend, great. Because it's so overbought and overextended, I would treat this solely as a day trade and not a swing trade. And if there's a break of pattern, if it begins to make lower lows, then that makes sense on why it could pull back to the overall SMA line and begin to downtrend. So that's when I would personally stay away. So IGCC, what's going on, Ryan? IGCC. Extremely overbought. Looks like there's a huge form of catalyst or some form of manipulation that drove the price up. I would personally stay away from this. I don't like to take part of pumping dumps or anything that I don't understand the overall push from. So yeah, so OHI is the next one. OHI, there we go. All right. Very consistent uptrend pattern. This has to be another one that I really do like that was talked about today. Again, I like to focus on something that's actively trending up. If you want your account to grow, then it makes sense to invest in patterns that are showing signs of growth, right? It doesn't matter about trading the top, most trending stocks, because if you don't understand the growth and how to take advantage of those opportunities, then it's completely irrelevant to you, right? But with this, we see, where it normally finds a support. We see where it normally peaks out at. We see this pattern, the low points, the high points, very easily to identify that with the series of different kind of just understandings and perspectives that we've been able to make sense of. So that's kind of what I would wait out for. So right now we're still trending below the EMA line and the SMA line, and I would like to wait for a break above the overall SMA line and EMA line. But until then, I'm going to set my alert for potential, lower low and kind of go off of that. But yeah, this has to be also one of the my top favorite, the ones that were called out today. So Big Owl's calling out TNDM with no ticker call out format. But I'll break it down for you anyways. So here we go. Really nice push up. Looks like it peaked out. MACD, okay, so there might be an overall reversal with the MACD just because it's already finding support and it has an up and coming earnings. Just letting you know, based off previous earnings, they did not act as a positive catalyst, especially when it does not actually hit its expectations. So it's extremely overbought, it's extremely overextended. It makes sense on why it can pull back. Just please understand both sides. I just personally don't like holding during earnings, and I don't like that. Looking at TNDM and the price point that it's at right now, it's just not a good deal. That's the easiest way for me to put it. And yes, it can push up, but again, there's more reasons on why it can pull back than it can push up, and because of that, I would personally want to stay away. Here we go. So we did already break down GOOS. Thank you again for that. /CO. We already did break that down. TWT. We already did break that down. And then CROX. What's going on, Alec? CROX. Just make sure I got that right. Yeah. Here we go. Very consistent uptrend pattern. We've talked about this one multiple times. Up and coming earnings report. So again, this is going to be on the 28th of February. So just in a couple of days. MACD is already starting to descend. So again, it doesn't mean that it actually has to continue to uptrend, just like it has before. And the RSI is a little bit more on the overextended side. So I'll set my alerts just for the sake of it. But it makes sense on why it could potentially pull back based on the technicals than actual, or based on the indicators than actually just continue to rally. But just in case it does continue to uptrend, then again, there's nothing wrong with day trading it as long as you see value in it and as long as the direction is in our favor. Let me see, I just have a couple more. ATNM. So TNM. Here we go. Pharmaceutical company, I absolutely just don't like them. I don't have the best experience with them. So it looks like it had a huge push up through due to some form of news. Again, I think that pharmaceutical companies, just like marijuana companies, get easily manipulated as they fall under a lot of hype and misleading news. So because of that, I would personally stay away. But again, if you see value in it and it's starting to push up and the pattern and the direction is in your favor and it makes sense to, and you'll cut your losses if it does break it, then great. As of right now, yes, it is pushing up, but also just understanding, look at this huge push of volume that it had up that drove the price up. After all that hype and demand dies out, it makes sense on why it will begin to downtrend, especially just looking at the price of the stock, its overall like volatility. It's just not something that I would personally want to risk. And I think it's MNG worth it. Last one. Here we go. Looks like it's a little bit under $1. Very consistent downward pattern. Sold off very aggressively. This would most likely try to be something that would reverse back up. I personally just would stay away. Again, a lot of hope and desire for this thing to push up. It doesn't actually mean that it's going to, and it's a very consistent downtrend pattern. Again, if you want to grow your account, then invest in patterns that are showing signs of growth. Is this doing it? No. Even if this thing pushes up, just again, is there a reason behind that trade? And if there's not, then simply stay away from it. You should be saying more no than you do yes. But yeah, these are the series of stocks that I broke down in the past couple of minutes. I hope that you guys found this video helpful for our Sunday stock talk and the top stocks that our members see value in for this week. We do host one of these live streams. So again, yes, live streams every single week, but due to my travel and being here in Tokyo, I'm actually traveling right now. I'm going to be leaving in a couple hours to Madrid, and then we're going to be going to London and then to Barcelona. And I just wanted to make sure, just like I owe you guys every single week, our Sunday stock talk, just because I couldn't go live, I just wanted to make sure that I pre-record it and that I upload it for each and every single one of you to at least get you guys aligned with what is pushing up and what is or what is trending and what is not as overall direction, right? For those that want to stay connected, we do run the largest free Facebook group for those who invest in the stock market. We have a little bit over 192,000 members, and again, that's going to be the first link in the description. If you guys want the ability to watch me trade live every single day, again, that's our Learn Plan Profit group, second link in the description. And just like I've said before, we host a free live stream or a live stream within the Learn Plan Profit group every single day, and they get to watch me trade live, see me enter, see me exit, and stuff like that. So hopefully I get connected with good Wi-Fi at our next hotel in Madrid, and looking forward to being able to trade live with you guys the following morning. So be sure to subscribe if you guys haven't done so already. Be sure to like this video, as we'd greatly appreciate it. Like always, guys, continue working hard, continue following your dreams, let your passion be what drives your success. Learn something new, make someone smile today, and like always, let's make sure that we end the year on a green note. Take it easy, team.